Once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Hello, Southern Fried Podcast fans and all you people out there at Cornbread Nation, all you breadheads. It's Friday night. We on the front porch with Robert and Dave. Dave, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Well, I won't lie. I was feeling kind of rough earlier today. I think these kiddos have been a little under the weather. I think it's got to me a little bit. It might just be maybe it's just because the time's going to change this weekend. I don't know.
Well, I heard that happens as you get older.
Well, it might. It might. You know.
I wouldn't know. I mean,
blood gets thinner. So who knows?
Yeah, wrinkles get deeper. It'd be all right.
I earned every one of my wrinkles, every one of my gray hairs. I've earned them all, man. I've lived a good life, and I hope to live a lot longer. We got a great show tonight, Rob. I mean, a great show. We are so excited about this, and we hope you will be too. And we're going to talk all things cryptids and Bigfoot and all that. But Rob, we got some breaking news. We need. Well, you save that because I know what you're fixing to say. But save that till after the unfortunate breaking news that we have to cover. Folks, we've been standing with the Stop the Monkey Farm folks down in South Georgia. They just posted up the court case that was pending has dropped. And this was about 30 minutes ago. This is what they posted on the internet just about 30 minutes ago. So it's not the information that they wanted, but they didn't win this part of the case. So for the ruling, as you can see there, the news we've been waiting for isn't what we hope, but this is not the end. The appellate court in Atlanta ruled that the bond for the monkey farm is legitimate in spite of officials failing to follow the law regarding it. There's more to come. This is not the end. Keep your heart, mind, and prayers focused on the right outcome for this community, which is no monkey farm. There will be a new update from PETA around the first of the week. Remember, too, PETA is not the only entity fighting against safer human medicine. And that is SHM. They go by short sometimes for the acronym. We're not alone, and it's not over. Stand up, Bainbridge, Georgia. So when you go to vote Tuesday, remember who brought you here. One county commission seat has a challenger, and she's smart, fair, and 100% anti-monkey farm. Robert, that's disappointing, but we're here to cover news. I popped a note in there real quick right before I got on here and got the show ready. To let them know we're praying with them and we stand with them. I hate that, but it is what it is. The fight goes on. It'll be interesting to see
put this out. I'm going to go ahead and say this. The county commissioner that they're talking about has been on this show twice.
Yes, she
Stephanie
has.
Harrity, and that's District 2, and she believes in keeping open door policy and keeping everything visible. So yeah, this don't. So
yeah,
it's not over yet.
No, there'll be more to come. This is going to roll into 2025, and we'll keep you posted. Again, for those that don't know that might be listening in, this is the primate facility that they're wanting to build out of Bainbridge, Georgia. It's in the county, right, or no, the city. It's actually in the city limits of Decatur County, but it's Decatur County, but it's in the city. And they want to, over time, build up to 30,000 primates for laboratory testing. There's a lot of problems here. It's not the focus of our show tonight, but I ask you to do your research. You just put in Monkey Farm, Bainbridge, Georgia. You'll get all you want. There's videos. There's interviews with the company out there from the Tallahassee News. I think one of their television stations did that. There's some newsprint media about it. There's groups you can join and keep up with it. But some people up here even thought it had already been built. It has not been built, but the land has been cleared. But there's concerns, Rob, about the the waste off of this, you know.
Yes.
What if a disaster happened and they got loose? People that are against animal testing altogether, lots of issues. So, and the way that they, you know, they say that they presented this, and even though they did
Yeah.
it, they're not going to hold them accountable to that. So, you know what? You know that I won't say the thing, but you know it happened up here. You know, not an animal testing facility, but there was improprieties in how something was presented, and something that was done on purpose, so they would be under threat of lawsuit to get it pushed through. Government's got to be transparent. Government's got to quit running amok and doing whatever they think they can do for the sake of the almighty dollar. But anyway, that's my soapbox. I'm disappointed, but
Well, I have a
stay
gentleman
with
that said he would come on the podcast as soon as that decision was handled down, and I will work on getting that on here.
good deal,
So,
man. Good deal.
all right.
But we're gonna move on. We got important guests waiting, and
Yes.
Rob says he's a skeptic
Yeah.
about Bigfoot. I have been a skeptic, but however, we love to share people's stories, and we are honored not to have Backwoods Cryptids. I met he can hear us. We're fixing to pull him up on stage. I saw it. The reason I knew about him is I ran across his video where he made a video running down the road. I saw that video. I said, I have got to meet this guy. And I pulled up at the Greenhouse Festival, and wouldn't you know it, we just parked right beside each other and got out. We met. And he was kind enough to give us a quick sound bite and a picture. And I said, we'll be in touch. And he promised he would come on, and he's fulfilling that promise tonight. He couldn't make it last week due to, family emergency. Those things happen, but don't matter. We're glad to have him here tonight. Rob?
Here he comes.
Hey.
Welcome, Greg. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. And to what you said earlier about the government needs to be more transparent, we got to remind the government they work for the people.
That's right.
And that's my soapbox.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh my gosh. This thing they're trying to build down in Bainbridge is an absolute mess.
Okay, first of all, in my first opinion, that's animal cruelty. There's other ways you can test these products.
There is.
Yes, there is.
So, I mean, it costs more, but guess what? If we trash the planet with, animal testing, dumping the bodies out, where are we going to live after the planet's gone now?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have joined this fight that are simply, I think it's different prongs. I mean, some are just against animal testing. Some are don't like the waste potential here, Rob, to the Flint River. Yeah. Others are fighting it simply based on the fact of how it was presented in a governmental meeting, of how they did that. And then some are all three. And there may be other, considerations as well, but they're fighting it on different fronts. PETA's involved. PETA's on the ground, has been on the ground. Yeah. And they're going to be making a statement. Let's wait for that statement, and then we'll kind of go from there. And we'll get them back on. We'll get them back on.
Cool.
Be more than happy to come
I'll definitely have to turn in for that because I want to stay up to date on that one.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
It started off for us as us joking around. I pull this chain every chance I get, and I'm real bad about leading to something that kind of sounds like it might be true, but it's not. Just to see what kind of reaction I can get out of Dave. And I told him, I said, "Hey, we farm everything here in South Georgia." He said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, we're fixing to start farming monkeys too." And he was like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." You just see the yeah. And I had it pulled up over here on my. I said, "Well, I'll share the screen if you want." Yeah, you do that. You share that screen.
Yeah, we definitely had fun with that night until it was like, okay, this is a real deal. What's going on? But Greg, tell us how you. We got questions and we'll get into a little deeper. But how did you get into? Cryptid hunting and before your channel and everything? Kind of tell us your story.
All right. Well, a little bit of background about me before I get into how I got into cryptids. Okay. I'm 4 years old, born and raised here, right here in Walker County, Georgia. Only time I left was after September 11th. I was a little steamed, to say the least, about what happened those days. September 11th, 2001, I decided to go military and did some time over the Middle East disposing of bombs.
Wow.
So And but growing up, I grew up in a time out here in the backwoods of Chickamauga, Georgia. They didn't really much do, so I'm outside all the time. And what little bit of time we only had a few TVs in the house. Didn't have one of my own at the time, so we had to watch what the parents wanted to watch. And my grandmama raised me. She raised me watching the show Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah.
And then everyone remembers that show, the classic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they start showing these things about like Bigfoot, Mothman, and the Jersey Devil, and all this stuff. And that got me interested in all this. And I grew up, when we finally got internet at the house, I started going on the internet. Of course, it was slow as could be, dial up. Yeah. You get a headache just listening to the dial up noise.
Yeah. The good old AOL chat rooms.
Yeah. It takes you 5 minutes to say hi.
Yeah.
No doubt.
And then you get the message 5 minutes later where someone said hi, and you're like, oh, wait, they're offline already.
Yeah. I remember those days.
That's the way it was for me.
So I started looking up everything on the net I could find. And as I got older, internet got better. They got more and more TV shows, and I ate it like candy. I mean, I was eating it like these little nerds candies all day, every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then did my time in the military, came home. I started doing my own thing. Yeah, I always wanted to. But then I looked up this group called Minimal Research, and I didn't agree 100% with how the guy running it did things.
Right.
So, I mean, he made me head of security for the team, but then I eventually left because, again, disagreements. Let's out here about, proving this stuff's real, gathering the evidence. I ain't got time for squabbles. I'm out.
Yeah.
I understand that.
And then got my wife when we first started dating, and I told her about it. And she said, why don't you do your own show? Then I introduced her to Mountain Monsters, and she made the offhand joke, if those old sons of guns can do it, why ain't you doing it?
Absolutely.
So I'd have to come up with a good name for it. And then I came up with the name Backwoods Cryptids, and I kept it simple. I'm not because I'm a backwoods son of a gun, and I'm out hunting cryptids. Mm. So I kept it simple and to the point.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, I didn't say gun.
Well, thank you for cleaning that up. We understand.
Yeah.
Well, so when you say cryptids, and I'm ignorant about it. I only know a little bit. But that covers the whole. Even your favorite word, Rob, would that cover?
Yes, David. That would cover the chupacabra, Dave.
Okay. Actually, I've done an investigation for one of those right here in Walker County, out in Villanelle.
Oh, you can't find one in Walker County. They don't let them things north of the border. It's not right there at the river.
I hate to tell you, but you look online, there's been signs of that thing all through the Appalachians, the Southern Appalachians.
Dave,
I told him they crossed the border. I told him that. He didn't listen.
Come on. We can't even keep the cartels over there. Why are we going to keep an animal?
Well, I don't allow them across the border. I've been trying to explain that today. Don't you be busting my bubble. This is my bubble.
Cartel, and they're human. How are we going to keep an animal from crossing?
Exactly.
Well, I'm just saying, but that was another one. That was another one I threw out there, and Dave was like, "You just made that word up."
So, it sounded like
you just made that word up. I said, "No, Dave."
Chupacabra. He didn't believe in the chupacabra. He didn't believe it was a real word.
No, he didn't think it was a real word.
I did.
Oh my God! Hey, did you ever find out? Did y'all actually know what it translates to in English?
Yes, I do. It's a Mexican goat sucker.
Yeah.
And I told him that too, and he says, "You're full of it."
I did because it just sounded like a Robertism. I mean, something he would make up.
Got to keep them guessing.
I'll take your word for that because you know this fellow a lot better than me.
So when you, well, Rob, go ahead. You got some questions. I've got several, and I know you do too. So let me let Rob ask a couple things here because I'm just curious. I'm here to learn and to hear your story. I just think it's cool. Go ahead, Rob.
Look, I am a skeptic on this, and I freely admit that. However, I'm going to throw this out. It would be awfully cool if they exist, and if they do exist, it's going to be someone like you that finds them or gets the evidence and stuff like that.
Yeah, but of course it's going to be some nerd in a lab coat takes the credit.
Yeah, Of course. But you said when we were talking before the show, you have seen signs and heard signs, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of signs and stuff do you look for?
Well, obviously the big one's footprints. Now, given we're in a heavily wooded area, that's going to be hard to come by sometimes. But I found prints up on Pigeon Mountain for Bigfoot. Okay. My problem is I couldn't get a cast because it was so close to the watering source. When you're a kid, you ever dig a hole next to the daggone creek and the water comes in? That's what was happening to my footprint, so I couldn't get a casting.
Okay.
Which kind of burst my bubble that day.
Oh, yeah. I could see that.
You look for other signs. Tree breaks too high up for known animals. Biggest thing I think we have around here is a black bear. So if you see a tree break about 8 foot in the air off the ground, that ain't no bear. That ain't no black bear.
No. Okay.
The tree structures, it was just basically who just put in there? I saw someone put up.
I think that was this one. Where'd that go?
Anyway, hey, whoever that was.
Here.
Alfredo. You know Alfredo?
That might just be his name on there. But hey, Alfredo, nice to know you, buddy.
That's no. Let's remove
other signs you look for are tree structures. Now this were now I want to stress this point before I even go any further. When looking at tree structures, you try to find out how nature could have made it first. Don't immediately jump, oh, Bigfoot made that. Which is a big mistake people always make. So if you find a structure and it looks like the tree is falling into a teepee shape, like a perfect shape of a teepee, have you ever seen that out in the woods, nature make a perfect teepee? Or a perfect lean-to?
No.
I can't say that I have.
Well, I have found one of them right there on Pigeon Mountain, and I found a teepee out in the battlefield.
No.
You talking about the Chickamauga battlefield?
Yes, I am. Chickamauga battlefield. It was on one of the trails going right by the creek. And there's an old graveyard cemetery out there in the park. I get the map with me. I'll show you on the map where it was. But it's a little cemetery, about maybe 6 to 8 headstones, and it's a little fenced off. Go down around that corner past it, and that's where I found that big structure. And me standing by it, this thing was about twice my height.
So when you
about that daggone big around that one of them. You'd have to have machines move logs that tall and that big.
Yeah. So when you go out for a hunt, how is it? Do you do day and night, or just night?
I do daytime at first, just to scout the area, because going into an area you don't know well, and if you're going in there at night and you've never been there before, too many things can happen. Like if you're on the mountain, you can slip, fall, kill yourself. Slip, fall, hurt yourself. I always do a day, so I call it day. I've always called it a daytime recon of the area before I go there at night. And that's just a safety factor.
Okay.
But other signs you look for besides footprint tree structures, hate this, but you gotta try to find scat. You gotta look for Bigfoot poop.
Yeah. Now, I can only imagine what that would look like, or how big of a shovel you would need to get it. But now I've heard, instead of tree breaks, I've heard like the bending of trees and stuff like that.
No, we call those archways, and I've seen some of those up on Pigeon Mountain as well.
Okay.
But again, with those, you gotta try to rule out nature first.
Right.
Like one I saw today. That's what I can say. It was a tree. It was bent and it was cracking, but it's not broke it was about, I won't say about 4 foot off the ground where the break was. And it was bent, but the leaves and everything were still alive. The tree wasn't dead. The trunk was cracked up pretty bad. But there was nothing that could have made the tree fall that way. Nothing on top of it.
Okay.
Which, to my mind, means, what the world? what did this? You know?
Yeah.
And when you're talking about a tree that's about that big around, that's going to take some force.
Well, yeah.
And you'd expect to see trees on top of it that had made it fall like that. But, I mean, I walked from end to end on that thing. There was nothing on top of it. So I'd call that a archway because it was making that bend shape, like you can walk under it.
Yeah.
How long do you usually stay out on a hunt? Like
it depends. I mean, I've been out there sometimes 4 hours at a time. I've done overnight camp outs. Done a couple of night camp outs. It all just depends on how much activity I'm getting. The more activity, the longer I'm staying.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because if I leave when I'm getting hot activity, I may have just missed out my chance to catch that big hairy son of a gun on camera.
Right. So I was watching a show about a Bigfoot hunter, and I think this is one of the things that made me so skeptical. He said, I've been tracking this family of Bigfoot for years. He said he spent 10 years looking, and he showed he's up there. It's dark, and they got cameras on him. He said he's right there behind that tree right there, but he never went up to look behind the tree. Now I'm going to tell you something. If I've been out there looking for this thing for 10 years, the picture I'm going to go up behind that tree. And you're going to see Bigfoot going.
Exactly. My wife has said I have no common sense because I'm the white guy who would die in a horror movie running toward the creepy sounds.
Okay.
She's over here just doing this right here.
Mm-hmm. But
yeah, I'm the guy, like, if I'm in the woods with my buddies and all my friends who all know I'm into this stuff, most of my friends that I have nowadays are.
Right.
If we hear a noise that I know for a fact ain't a coyote, mountain lion, because we do have to factor that in sometimes because it's rare, but we do have them out here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe occasional wolf.
There is a
red bear
in that area.
Yeah. But if it's not an animal I recognize immediately, now I live out here in the woods. Literally, I got talk to it and spit and hit Lookout Mountain right now.
Okay.
So, I mean, I've had wild animals in my yard. I've had coyotes. I've had one time I've had a black bear come through the property.
That gets your attention.
Oh, I let them alone. I just let them go on through.
Yeah.
Yes, once in a while I've put a pile of fish guts.
Yeah.
I got a big old mess of catfish and was about to fry them up.
He came on in.
Yeah. He wanted to do fish guts.
Now, are the cryptids all, or is it differences between them? Do they eat other animals, or do they just eat vegetation?
Well, there are omnivorous, carnivorous, and herbivores amongst every type of creature you're talking about, including the Sasquatch or Bigfoot is what everyone here calls it. But most of the ones I've heard about around here are like meat and eat plants.
Okay.
Yeah. The omnivores.
Okay.
So
if you hear even something that you want to say, oh, I think I saw Bigfoot, yeah, keep an eye on the house pets, and they could be on the menu.
They might live in in Ohio.
Grassland territory. And that's the biggest of the Bigfoots this side of the Mississippi.
You were talking about Bigfoot or Sasquatch, and I see all these people. They've got those. I guess they're steel or whatever they are. They got them in their yards now. You know, you go down through there and they have them.
Oh yeah, there's one right down on Johnson Road.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if the cryptids would come in. You know, seeing that it's like a draw them out.
That goes back to old days of Native Americans when they put up what they call booger mass to scare evil spirits or evil creatures away. You can look this up in history. Mm-hmm. Now, putting something like that up could be a way of warding off others.
Okay.
That's just one thing that popped in my head when I first seen these things popping up everywhere.
I mean, yeah, they're everywhere. I mean, I've seen them for sale. I've even seen them for sale at the Amish store. They even get into this. I took a picture.
I go to an antique shop up in Chattanooga sometimes. They got one in there.
Yeah. They've become fairly popular, and I guess some of that's driven, Rob, by the commercials. You have the what was the one you were talking about? The what is it? You were just talking about it this morning, I think. The commercials they do for the Bigfoot or the
the messing with Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot commercials. Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, people are really. I mean, it's very popular, term, and there are tons of groups out there. You can find them on social media. I mean, there's people looking for them, and I mean, it's just an intriguing thing. And like I said, there are some videos. There are, again, it's just,
I've seen some of these videos. Like the one that's most popular here lately, it just shows that Bigfoot is standing there, and I forgive me for saying this, but he looked high, and he just like. The people who made that video came forward. Hey, this was an ad for our costume store.
Yeah.
So you can't go by all these videos you see on the net. You have to really be skeptical, like our buddy here, like Robert here, about these things you see on the net. Now, I'll promise you this: anything you see on my channel, only editing I do is clipping the small bits of videos into one big video and posting it. I don't edit nothing out.
Okay.
So you see it on my channel, it's a real one.
Right.
Well, that's what we do. We don't edit really anything. We make a mistake, we just keep going. Or if we say something,
if I make a mistake, I find a way to laugh about it.
Now, when I saw you the first time, and I mean, it just popped up, and I guess it got covered on one of the local Facebooks, and you had made a video, and I guess some people had just attacked you. I don't know if it was on social media or what. That they didn't believe you. I don't remember. I didn't see those, so I don't know what it was.
Oh, you're talking about the video where I was addressing the people wanting to talk trash about me.
Yeah, you were driving down the road, and I mean, it was about.
Oh, I've been doing this. This is my second year doing this, and I've just let people talk, and I finally just. We all get to a point where we're just like, okay, enough's enough. We have to address this.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have making fun because I don't have my front teeth. So I literally on the video said, "Yeah, that's right. I ain't got my front teeth. That's all I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth." I ain't ashamed of it. I've earned every scar, every knocked out tooth. I've earned every one of them.
Yeah.
I'm proud of them for one thing. It means I survived to live another day.
That's it.
You that's how I that's how I learned about you. And I was like, okay, this guy's I didn't know what had happened, but you just.
It's just the people talking trash, I was faking and stuff, and saying my cousin was faking some stuff with me because she's joined my crew. She's the female that's now on my team. Along with my wife. My wife, she stays at home, does a lot of research online because of, health issues.
Yeah.
And then me and my cousin go out in the field and actually boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got research people helping with research. I got people with me out in the field, so make sure I'm not doing something too crazy to make sure I come back to my wife. Because if I get stuck out in the woods and get hurt, when I get home, she'll skin me.
If the woods don't kill you, she will.
Yeah, pretty much. But
go ahead.
Let me get your opinion on probably the most famous picture or video of Bigfoot, the Patterson-Gimlin film.
I knew this was going to come up. Well,
I've seen it. Look, I've seen it. I've watched it. And I've read a bunch of stuff on it. It's like I said, while I'm a skeptic, it's always been of interest. Now,
here's the thing you got to think about. The same time that film was made was about the same time the original Charlton Heston version of Planet of the Apes came out.
Exactly.
I'm going to point that out for this reason. Because the U.S. government, CIA and FBI analyzed that footage, could not find anyone to copy those movements. And you can even, when they, I forget what the editing technique was called, but they took the fur off where you can see the muscles.
Right.
And you can see the muscle movement when it moved.
Okay.
Now, at the time, the most advanced things we had for costumes were what we saw in Planet of the Apes starring Charlton Heston. And if you think that's real, then you really need to go to an eye doctor. But what Patterson did, I believe is real.
Where was that filmed at? I don't remember.
Up in Oregon.
Yeah, that was in Oregon. Let's see if I can get a.
It is famous, and I mean it's been shown.
It is the first known ever good footage of a Sasquatch.
Let me pop that picture up there, Dave.
Go ahead.
You'll know it when you see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah.
And you can see here, it's actually looking back at you here.
Yeah. Now, if you zoom in on the picture, you can see it is a female because you can see the outline of what would be the breast.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pointing that out because I actually named it Patty.
Okay. See if I can bring that up any bigger. I don't think I can. I can on this one.
Okay.
And what year was that?
1967.
That's, pretty amazing video too for the time frame. I mean, we had decent camera equipment, but nothing like they have today.
Now, back then again, now look at the Charlton Heston movie and look at that.
Yeah, it's two way different things there.
Yeah.
And what's the story on the guy who got that? I mean, what's the background of this? Because I don't remember. Was he looking for Sasquatch? Or
he was just out there riding a horse, just filming because he liked the views. And then they came across that thing.
Yeah.
And what did they, if you know, did this, I mean, obviously it's famous, but was he, did people, I mean, I guess he came on all the TV shows and stuff at the time, talk shows. And
actually, he tried to avoid the press with it. He just put it out there. Said, look, I saw this. Someone tell me what it is. Thank you. Goodbye. Okay. That's how he originally handled it.
Yes. And here is, they enhanced the picture, Dave.
Okay.
And let's see if we can get that up there. We're going to have Dave turn into a Bigfoot hunter before this is over with.
Well, get you a good knife and a good firearm.
There you go.
And right there, you can even see it's female, like a gorilla, for example, a female silverback. You can see it has the same style breast as a gorilla. That shows it's a primate. So everyone, there's a good image of Patty.
There you go. I went to school with a girl named Patty.
Hopefully she was less hairy.
I don't know if her feet were any smaller.
So what is the estimation, if you know, about how heavy that creature, if that's real,
that's a couple of 1,000-pound creature. These things are known to be the biggest one I know of. Let's go with the Ohio Grassman, since old Robert brought it up earlier. That is the largest one known outside of Alaska. That thing has been said to get up to 10 pounds. 10 foot tall. Sorry, my ADHD is kicking in, so my brain's going a little bit faster than my mouth.
You're absolutely fine.
We'd be talking about pretty amazing strength. I mean, we know how.
Yeah, those things. If they got hold of you and you had no way to fight back and no training to fight back, you're done. You just might as well say, "I'm coming home, Lord."
With that being said, you're out there hunting and you run up on, if you were to see something like that, I mean, how do you protect yourself?
Well, maybe in a ex-military background, I do go out with, firearms.
Okay.
But I stick to the laws. For example, Pigeon Mountain, you can't carry a rifle up there, but you can carry a handgun. Now, unless it's hunting season and you have a hunting license, then you can carry a rifle or a shotgun.
Okay.
Now, me, I carry my go-to sidearm. I had it on me that day I met you at the festival. I just took it off so I could do the tour, and I worked to help them out do the tour.
Yeah.
I would have to put it back in my truck, but I had a 45 on my hip, 1911. Now, when I'm in a place that allows long arms, I got an AR-10 .08 rifle.
Okay.
Those things can drop a grizzly bear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would definitely want to be protected. I mean, and imagine, I mean, that video is, it's not moving very fast in there, but do they have some kind of speed to them that would be match or be faster than a human speed if they were running?
I'd say so, because Look at it. You saw the muscles on that daggum thing's leg. I mean, that was bigger than my leg. Now, something else I'm going to warn you everyone about. If you're going out in the woods looking for these things, don't go out without anything at least. Like every good old country boy, carry a good knife.
Without a doubt.
I carry 3 or 4 on me at a time when I'm out in the woods.
I'm going to go ahead and go on record. If I go out there in the field and I actually find one, they're not going to survive because I'm going to be having chemical warfare, and I'm going to let go the biggest stink bomb that thing has ever seen, and he is not going to survive. I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to do it.
Okay, and that spot might not survive, but will your britches?
No.
Nope, it's going to burn a hole right through the britches. And then when you go out there next time, you're going to say, "Oh, look, Bigfoot's cat." I'm telling you, he's not going to survive it.
Well, even you talk to deer hunters and stuff, and deer will be, blended in so well. They'll be walking along, and all of a sudden a deer will just come out of its bed or wherever, and it startles them so bad they don't even get a shot off. I mean, it's like
guilty. I've had that happen to me before while I'm out deer hunting.
Yeah, they say, because I said, "Why didn't you shoot it?" Like, at that moment, I couldn't. I was just trying to figure out what was going on. It scared me so bad.
I got a buddy of mine. He likes to say real private, so I'm not going to give his name. I'll say he lives up in the Carolinas. He goes bear hunting a lot, though.
Yeah.
And he told me this one story, and this goes with what you were talking about there, Dave. He was out bear hunting one day. He had his blind set up. He had a big old thing of coffee there. And he had a little porta-john right there in this stand with him because he's out by himself. He said when this bear came out of its hole, he couldn't get on that porta-john fast enough because it came out right next where he had set up his daggum blind. And he had scouted the area twice before looking for signs and only thinks that's what walking through. He didn't know it was right at the front door.
Well, I've been bear hunting myself, and this is one of the things that I think about if you're going to go out and look for this thing. Okay. I went in the Bighorn Mountains up in Washington State with a friend of mine, and we saw a bear on the ridge across from us. And I watched him. He said, "You want him?" I said, "Yeah, I want him." He said, "Well, here, I'm going to walk on up. You set up right here. Aim back down the trail where we just came from." It's like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah." So he walks on. I set up like he told me to, and that bear dropped off the other side of that ridge. I'm sitting here twiddling my thumbs, And it was about a half hour later, that sucker come walking right up from where we came from. You don't know who's hunting who. That's a weird situation.
Where they've been out in the woods and they said they feel like they were being stalked.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care if you're hunting deer, turkey, bear. If you're hunting in the woods, you feel at one point in your life you feel like you're being stalked.
Yeah. That bear was doing it. I mean, he was watching and he come back up our back trail. Now, I didn't have a knife with me, but me and the bear had an understanding. I did have something big enough to take him down. But I
you need to get one of these.
No. No, if Bigfoot comes after me, that ain't gonna do no good. I ain't gonna have time to pull it.
Well, no, we're not talking about Bigfoot. Now we're talking about the bear.
No, I ain't going after no bear with that.
No, that's the last ditch resort. Okay, this bear's coming at me. I gotta do something.
Well, he ain't gonna survive the first ditch resort. I'm telling you. He won't ever look at a human being with slobber in his mouth again because he's gonna remember that smell. Oh my gosh. We don't want to eat none of those. How many people survive safe?
Yeah, when you're out hunting, have you ever been asked by other hunters or game wardens or anybody like, what are you hunting for? What are you looking for?
Actually, I've had a game warden come up to me right here on Page Mountain. What are you doing out here? I said, "Sir, we're looking for Bigfoot."
What did you say?
Huh? He went,
If
Do you
it-
have
if
your
it-
fishing
please,
license, hunting license, or land pass, sir? I'm like, yes, sir. Here's my fishing license.
please, please, when you told him you was looking for Bigfoot, you said we'd really appreciate it if you put your dabbling shoes back on.
No, I didn't do that. I said that to my buddy that was in the tent next to me.
You're gonna have to let me go up there and go Bigfoot hunting with you.
Well, if you ever want to come up here, you come on up. I'll take you out in the woods with me.
There's way too much fun you can have.
Oh, yeah.
All there is, but I didn't want to take them off because you also could have the right to tell us to leave.
Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true.
Even if you have all the stuff you're supposed to have, they can still say, well, you can't be here right now. And they can make up some excuse. And when the game word says time to go, you pack up your stuff and you go.
Yeah, that's federal. You don't mess with them. And
Now,
you go to a different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I was thinking that even though like I know people that are out hunting deer, sometimes they go a long time never even seen a deer, so it's not like hunters see something that they're looking for all the time. You certainly have saw sign, but you haven't saw them. So what else is it about being out in nature that is a blessing to you while you're trying to find Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever? What is it that it does for you?
I've always loved being out in the woods. I feel more alive out there than I do in the house. I feel more at home out in the woods than I do in my own bed.
Yeah.
But also, for me getting into all this, I have a number of friends I would never have met. Jessica Jones, a.k.a. the Cryptid Hunters. Derek Jasper Walls of Bigfoot and things. Also a professional wrestler called Alpha Wolf up in Pikeville, Tennessee, TWA.
Okay.
And the friends I made through just knowing him alone, like I'm friends with the guy who actually was an extra on The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Josh Turner, TKO. He played one of the saviors.
This is one of the more interesting pictures I found of Bigfoot.
Okay. Hey, honey, look, I got Jasper. Now, my buddy Jasper, I got to tell one of his most well-known stories because he actually has a shirt to commemorate the story. The shirt says, "Hi, I'm Jasper, and I touched Bigfoot's butt." I guess y'all love to hear how this happened, huh?
Oh,
I love it.
Okay, now what happened? He's got two boys. Now this happened when they were younger.
Yeah.
In the pre-teens and early teen years. They're all country boys. They love to go fishing. So they took them out to what was the name of that? The part of the Tennessee River up way up there. No, not Tonsaga.
Suck Creek.
Yeah, up in that area, I think it was.
Or Hiawassee.
Hiawassee, I think it's Hiawassee.
Yeah, okay, that's on the other end of the lake.
Yeah. Well, and they caught some catfish. They cleaned them and they fried them up right there. That's the best way to do it, in my personal opinion. Nothing like caught catfish fried up in an old iron skillet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, now the guts they put toward the end of where they were camping right there near the water, right? Well, they got ready for bed, had their good meal. They were tired. They got in the tent, were going to sleep. And about, I think he said it was around 2 in the morning, honey? 3 in the morning, his youngest son said, "I gotta go." He says, "Is it number 1 or number 2? Number 2. All right. And all of a sudden, something just sit down their tent. Like the wall of their tent, you can see a shape where something had sit and laid on the tent.
Wow.
At that point, Justin and his son was like, you still gotta go?" "Nope."
Done it.
Now,
if I look up on my tent wall and I see a buttock sitting on it, I ain't gonna have to go anymore either because I've been gone.
Exactly, probably.
Self-preservation is going to kick in.
Well, now Jasper, he's always been able to be level-headed especially when it comes to protecting his kids. You mess with his kids, run.
Yeah.
And but he starts trying to figure out what this is on their tent. They start feeling, And he says it feels like a big butt.
Big growth Bigfoot.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Now, Jasper, he's like me. He's a good old country boy. He always carries a good knife on his belt when he's out in the woods. So he tries to push this thing off the tent, try to shove it off. Well, maybe it'll go on whatever the heck it is at the time, right? Now, it didn't move. So he takes his knife and starts poking at it through the tent. This thing still don't move. And all of a sudden, he just said, "This feeling come over and go sleep." He wakes up the next morning. It's gone. His oldest son's already out fishing again. His youngest son's like, "Dad, what was that last night?" "I don't know. I'm going to get out and look around." "Go out there with your brother." He gets out and he sees the shape of a huge buttocks right where this happened at. And there are still holes. You can see the holes in the tent wall where he poked his knife through the tent wall trying to get this thing to move.
Well, he wasn't poking hard enough.
If that'd been me, I went, I'd have thrown that knife in.
You know,
I can replace a tent.
Yeah.
I can tag the tent for Pete's sake.
You know, I'd have heard a great big don't. I guarantee you, if I'd have been swinging that knife.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I carry a firearm. If something that big set on my tent, I'm putting a bullet hole in the tent.
Yeah. Well, you know, if it's something, I've already made my position on this perfectly clear. If something with that large of a buttocks that's on my tent, you got to worry about it.
I had to tell that story just because the way I can describe Jasper, he's a big, heavy-set hillbilly, but he's got the mentality of Deadpool.
Wow. Wow. What is
He's been on a few of my shows a few times with me, so he's a big old boy.
Yeah.
All right, now, what about in this area? I know we have the North Florida Bigfoot group and stuff like that, which I am actually a member of.
Oh, okay.
But I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
I'm a member of that group because I find it highly entertaining. All right. It cracks me up. It does. Some of the comments that they make and some of the stuff that they say on there, I find it humorous. And I like to laugh. I enjoy life. And, and I'm not going out there. I'm not putting anything on there to put anybody down. I'm definitely not putting you down for what you're doing. Look, worst comes to worst, you're having a ball doing what you're doing. You're really enjoying it. There's a lot to be said for doing what you enjoy doing.
That's right.
And I hope you find him. I hope you do. That'd be amazing.
If I do, you'll know it too, because I'll have him stuff and mounted on my wall, buddy.
Can you get him going like this?
I'll have him holding my rifle.
But I know that Bigfoot has been reported all over the country. And there's supposedly a fairly large population here in South Georgia, North Florida, and that area. And,
well, actually, I'm glad you bring that up because I got a few of my books that just about Georgia specifically I kind of figured this to come up about Bigfoot strictly in Georgia.
Right.
Jeffrey Wells, Bigfoot in Georgia. You see that map on there?
Yeah.
You see those marks? Those are all different Bigfoot sightings, whether it be historical, just some off the BFRO website. I mean, I think there's a few off y'all's group there too. But the biggest one right here, that's Elkins Creek casting. Okay. That is the first Bigfoot cast, the most famous Bigfoot cast in Georgia.
Okay.
And they even have a book just about that one.
Okay. We got to look that one up, Dave.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I did not know that.
These are both available on Amazon. I'll go ahead and tell you all that now. Okay. That's where I got these.
Okay. Now, I saw one down there. I did see a blue spot down there in the southwest corner of Georgia. Put that back here. A little higher. Okay, yeah, that looks like not Seminole County. Huh? It's right around us, yeah. We're right there in the southwest corner. That'd be about right on top of us right there.
Talking about this little piece right here?
Come over a little bit. No, down. At the very bottom. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that one. That's right there close on top of me.
They got two right there. One's from Indian legend, one's historic, and the other one's a historical sighting.
Huh. Indian legend.
Now, I'll say this now. Anyone who's
now, wait a minute. Did they not put this Bigfoot or AKA or Sasquatch on their totem poles?
Yes, they did.
Dave. Dave was arguing with me about that too. He said, no, they didn't. I said, yes, they did.
Yes, they did. And it also depends on what branch of the tribe you're talking about. The more interaction they have with them, the more likely it's going to be on their totem pole.
Yeah.
The Cherokee have stories of several types of Bigfoot creatures in their folklore.
Yeah.
The Sukaloo. It's also known as the Slope Giant. If you watch the show Mountain Monsters, they call it the Cherokee Devil.
Yeah. You know, I have watched that show, and to me, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I love them old guys. It looks to me like it's a bunch of old guys running around the woods playing and having fun. You know, I'm sorry. That's the way I would want to live my life.
Hey, well, here's the old saying, the secret to happiness in life. Find something you love and find some sucker dumb enough to pay you to do it.
Absolutely.
I like
Wait a minute.
I'll go ahead and say that they have said that. That is an old saying. It's not my saying. Yeah. Someone said way before I was there were twinkle in my daddy's eye. I think it was Barnum and Bailey, actually.
It might have been.
I think so.
So
now, Greg, why do you think with all and all these sightings over all these decades, nobody's ever been able to capture one or shoot one or find a dead carcass of one?
Well, every hunter I've talked to who says they've had one in their sight said that when they looked it in the face and in the eye, it seemed too human. It's like murder to them.
Really? Okay.
And the reason, have you ever just been walking in the woods and seen a dead deer? Walk in the woods, see a dead bear? Walk in the woods and see a dead turkey?
I have.
How rare is it, though, if that happens?
It's pretty rare because coyotes and stuff take care of it.
Yeah, the critters up in these down in to the southern Appalachia and southern Georgia, they take care of that stuff pretty quick.
Right. Now, I've heard that they bury their dead, too. I've heard that.
I've heard that. I've not myself have not come across anything I can say is a Bigfoot burial site. I've looked for them. I have dug in mounds I thought could be one. It was just dirt.
Yeah. You know, but you never know till you look under the dirt.
Exactly. I mean, to really be boots on the ground, you got to get down and dirty.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's my question.
Okay.
And this is a good one for you. There have been a lot of photos of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of video of Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they always blurry?
People are in shock, can't keep their hands steady, just like when your adrenaline's pumping when you're in a combat situation.
Okay.
Luckily, some like myself, they train you to. Any gentleman ex-military, let me ask y'all that first off.
Yes.
Then you know what I'm talking about when I say this. They train you to get your adrenaline under control so you can take the shot necessary and keep your hands steady.
Okay.
Am I right?
Yeah. But, now we have things like GoPros. The chest harness, the head harness.
Yeah, but still, if your chest is pounding, your adrenaline's pumping, you're going to be shaking, visibly shaking if your adrenaline's pumping hard enough. That's just how the body functions.
Right. Well,
and 9 times out of 10, most of these videos are just filming on their cell phone.
Yeah. But, if you have a GoPro out there, and I've shot some footage of me fishing and catching fish with the GoPro.
Bass or cat?
Huh?
Bass or cat?
Bass.
Yes.
I actually have some footage here that I shot underwater.
See, right now, all I got to work with is my cell phone because I've never asked for donations. Don't plan on it. Now, if they choose to, that's on them, right?
Right.
Because I'm not in this to make no money. I'm not going to lie. I'm doing this for myself to have a good time.
Absolutely. That just seems to me, I've heard a lot of people talk about, and I've done some research on it, especially when I was younger, that something about the aura of Bigfoot or whatever, it would make it blurry. It's hard to see. It's difficult. It's hard
I've
to
heard
get
that too. That goes along with the whole thing about them being able to cloak.
Yeah. Not cloak, but not necessarily cloak, but to blend in.
Yeah, well, that's still the same principle made as the cloaking theory as well. It's still them doing something to the equipment or doing something to themselves.
Yeah.
To make it appear that way.
Okay.
I've seen one time in my life, and I saw it very clear.
Okay.
I was down in Ellen, Georgia. I'm not going to say where because the landowner asked me to keep that part private.
Okay.
I'll say this: it was by a very good trout stream.
Okay.
And there was a very steep incline about that grade.
Okay.
Right across the other side of the creek. At the time, me and Kelsey were just dating at the time. We weren't engaged. We weren't married, obviously. But she went with me because she was wanting to get more outdoors.
Okay.
Now, it was supposed to be a few others who were supposed to go with us, but one had to work, one had out of motor trouble, and one just said, heck with it. So it just turned out to be me and her by our lonesome. Now, this is back in February of 2 years ago, 3 years ago? 2 years ago. It's right. It's the same year I started doing Backwoods Cryptids, actually. It was back in February 2 years ago, and it had snowed like a son of a gun. My little tent looked like an igloo within an hour. That thick on my tent. Now, because the ground was already saturated with snow and water, I couldn't get a fire going good. My little trick of putting the wood down and then building a platform on top of that didn't even work. You know, Bushman's trick, right?
Yeah. You didn't have no gas with you.
No. I tried to use gas on fire because just how it affects the environment. Because again, Earth is our home. We can't run our home.
But when you're cold.
Yeah, well, I learned my lesson real quick on that one. I went and got some sterno, put that shell on one of the logs, and lit that puppy up.
Yes.
We had a good fire going after that for the rest of the time we were there. But that first night, we were miserable. Cold. We huddled up just to keep warm. Got up the next morning. I found a way to get that fire going, by golly.
Yes.
Well, on that night, now I had to go to work. We was able to stay out 2 nights. Third day, we had to leave because I had to work the next day. First night, no fire. Second night, we had the fire going. And I'm thinking, okay, we're supposed to be here to try to find a Bigfoot that's supposed to have been on this property. And in my head, I was thinking, well, we tell stories of, before we had books, before we had television, we told stories from mouth to mouth, right?
Right.
Maybe what if Bigfoot had some way to communicate and tell stories from the past that they're carrying on to the next generation? So I decided, okay, what Native American group was known for this area? Cherokee. So I got on my phone, pulled up Cherokee party drums, not war drums, just like a good old time, right?
Right.
I hooked the Bluetooth up to my truck, to my phone, so I could crank that volume up real high. And I had it echoing all through that holler.
Yeah.
And now I played it until it just played out. And then the next morning I get up, I'm cooking breakfast for me and Kelsey. I was cooking eggs, bacon, making some coffee. Gotta have my coffee.
We're going to take a break here in a minute. We're going to go fill our coffee cups up.
Well, I ain't drinking coffee at night because it keeps me awake, but I do got Mountain Dew Code Red.
Okay.
The official drink of the movie Zombieland.
Yes.
Anyway, and I look up the ridge, and this big hairy beast is watching me cook breakfast.
Oh.
I'm like, hey, come on down. We'll fix you a plate. And it shook its head no at me.
Wow.
So that tells me right there. He knew what I was trying to do. I was offering him a plate of food. He's like,
Well, he turned down a plate of food.
Because he knew I'd get him on camera.
Okay. Now, I have often made the comment that Bigfoot is the hide-and-seek champion of the world. And you probably have heard that, too. Probably seen T-shirts to that effect and bumper stickers.
Everything. T-shirts, you name it, they got it. Bumper stickers.
Yeah.
Window stickers. And, I'm surprised they hadn't put it on the Dr. Squatch deodorants yet. Hey, you want to hide your stink just as good as Bigfoot hides in the woods? Dr. Squatch.
You know, they
I
call them
love
things
it.
skunk apes. Okay, I don't think I want no Dr. Squatch deodorant. They call them skunk apes. I think that would be beyond. Okay.
Well,
Hey,
now, skunk ape and Bigfoot are in the same family, but two different creatures.
huh?
Bigfoot, skunk ape. Very similar, but still different creatures.
So you got Bigfoot, you got
Mm-hmm.
skunk ape, aka Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And then you have the Yeti, which will be yet another.
That one's way over in the Himalayas, overseas. I ain't dealing with that big white hairy dude.
But
I
yeah,
ain't going that high up on a mountain. That's nothing but snow. No, thank you.
Okay. I'm just, so there's like, I knew that there was Yeti and Bigfoot. I didn't realize that they were different.
Oh, there. Just like there's a lot of different types of dogs. A lot of people like myself believe there are that many types of Bigfoots.
Okay. Now wait a minute.
Down your neck of the woods, you have the skunk ape. Up here we got the Bigfoot, and if you go a little further north here, they have some that make different noises. They have one that whistles. They have one that sounds like a Yahoo noise, but it's more of a yell. I ain't gonna do that because my uncle's trying to sleep downstairs.
No,
he's just banging to the floor. Hey!
There's all right. Now, how many yell? Did the skunk apes yell? Because I'm gonna tell you something. I'll be calling it an owl, but I've heard some of the weirdest sounding hoots I have ever heard.
Well, because I've not had any experience. See, the thing about my show, it's all local to the area I live in. So, unless I've actually been to the location and it has somewhere relevant to where I'm at, me being there for some reason, I have not investigated it.
Well, I told Jenny, she's heard it too. And it sounds like an old redneck owl out there that's got into the moonshine. I mean,
now I could put you in touch with someone who could help you with that. Named Connor Flynn.
Huh?
Look up. He's on my friends list. Connor Flynn. He can help you more with skunk ape stuff questions.
All right. Let me write that down.
Yeah. His channel is called Bigfoot Anon.
Okay. We'll definitely reach out.
Now he's a little bit hard to get hold of because he's also out in the woods a lot. He's working when he's not in the woods, and then sometimes he even makes these little, movies like that people make with their own little video sets at home. Get their friends together. He does that, and they put them on up there on like the Amazon, so where you can watch them on Amazon.
Well, he may want to come up here because I ain't never heard an owl sound like that. But it does. It sounds like some old redneck owl out there done been in the moonshine. Ooh,
well, if you can ever get your recording of it, send it to me.
If I can get a chance to, but it's hard to sit out there for me in the mosquitoes and wait for this thing to sound off because usually he sounds off when I'm not expecting it.
Well, I'll tell you a trick to get rid of the mosquito problem. Like most country fellas, I'm guessing you like a nice little campfire out there when you're sitting around in that home, don't you?
Yeah.
Like a little fire. You ever go to like the flea market, sell a big thing of sage they sell at the witchcraft stores?
Oh, I don't go around in witchcraft stores.
Well, normally I don't either. I just go buy that sage. I throw that in my campfires, and the smell of that sage, mosquitoes gone. The smoke will drive away the mosquitoes.
Okay. I'm not
That's the only reason I step foot in those kind of stores. I want that sage.
All right. Well, Dave, I'll tell you what, let's take a short, quick break.
Yeah, we need to
let's fill up our coffee, and we'll come right back here with Mr. Greg Smith from Backwoods Cryptids, and we're going to continue this good time. We're going to get to the good stuff next.
All right. Let's bring it on.
All right. Dave, you want to run them? Because if I don't go get me some coffee here pretty quick, I'm going to dry up and blow away.
We don't want you to do that. So
no. Go just bring the whole pot.
I got a whole pot made in there.
We'll be right back. The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs, and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing, and we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person in your life their Southern Fried Podcast item, and it'll help us advertise the podcast as you wear these things or take these things out into the public. We thank you for your support. If you have any questions, email us at southernfriedpodcast@yahoo.com. We'll be glad to answer. We're running some specials as well, 20, 25, and even 30% off in some cases. This will eliminate the mailing charges for sure. So go to sfplive.com/store for your Southern Fried Podcast items today. Remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you. Hey, this is Dave with the Southern Fried Podcast. Please join us each Wednesday evening as we go live for Hump Day News, where we talk about a little bit of everything. We'll laugh a little bit. We'll tell you a little bit of sports news and other news that's going on. Each Wednesday evening at 7 p.m., join us for the SFP Hump Day News live. You're midweek, making your way through another work week. Join us, and we'll try to make you laugh a little bit and keep your day a little brighter. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, one of the blessed things we've been able to do is partner with the wonderful people at Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. These folks are a no-kill shelter in Donaldsonville, Georgia. You see the contact info on the screen. And these folks would love to have you come adopt a dog or a cat. They have folks that come from all over the United States, not just the state of Georgia. They're great folks. It's been a wonderful partnership between Southern Fried Podcast and ARA. And we've been blessed to meet some of the folks that have adopted animals from ARA. Also, we've been able to encourage people to donate and volunteer. They encourage volunteers that are in the area, and they're just wonderful people. We'd love for you to contact them, meet them too, go on their website, see some of the animals, and we know you'll want to partner with them too by taking a dog or a cat to their forever home. Join with us, the Southern Fried Podcast, in support of this great work of the Animal Rescue Alliance, Inc., ARA. We know you'll be happy you did. I know we are. Hey, here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we've got a new morning show. Well, it's actually the same show, but we added a day. We're now on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, starting at 6 a.m., and we go till about 7, maybe a little after if we're having a really good show, and we just want to keep it going for a few minutes, but it's usually about 6 to 7. We hope you join us. And as our tagline says, nobody really wants to get up, but since you're up, grab a cup of coffee and join us. Hopefully we can get you started on your day talking about a little bit of sports or news, have a little laughter. Everybody needs that in the morning, along with that caffeine. And hey, we're trying to get you awake. You might be trying to get us awake. So join the chat. Let us know what's going on. Sometimes our best programs are from the chats that people tell us some things that are going on or remind us of some things or correct us on some things. Hey, all the above. We hope you join us on the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Have a great day in Dixie, and God bless. Well, Rob, we've got our affiliation with Mammoth Nation, and folks can follow the QR code there and join up to this great American business, which brings together people from all different backgrounds and support of American products, support of veteran causes. And so
Yes.
trying to grow those things that are American, Rob, America first. And
Yes.
so when you follow that, and you can do it as little as $5 a month, you're helping American business, and also the Southern Fried Podcast. Along with that, we do have our affiliation with W Energy Drinks as well. if you go to their website and order anything, put in the promo code Southern Fried, you get 10% off, and you'll also help us here. And so we appreciate that. Just really quickly, we have those two on this card as well. And also, if you want to support us, you can give through PayPal or through Venmo. So just some ways, Rob, that people can help. And also on the store, we're going to be showing some more of those products that we have. In fact, tonight I am drinking my coffee out of one of those products from the store. And here is the SFP coffee mug. And so I have that
wearing
set,
the hat, don't you?
and I'm wearing the hat. So, we had somebody else order a mug and a hat too, and we appreciate that support. So there'll be more on those things as we go forward, but we appreciate you sitting through and giving us a break, and we appreciate our guests being here. Greg, it's been a blast to have you on here, and
Yes.
We want you to know up front, all of our guests are welcome back at any time.
Yes.
We'd like to have you back, and I hope you'll want to
Well,
come
I'll
back.
be happy to come on anytime I got something worth talking about or something that just piques my interest. Y'all talk about it. I'll happy to jump in.
Absolutely. And if you get a video or something that you think is interesting, or pictures of stuff, bring it on. Let's talk about it. Share it. So I think that's, that's cool.
I want to go back to that first setting I had, because we got sidetracked. My wife actually saw this thing first when we was out camping that time, and she's the one pointed out to me. Her reaction was a little funny than mine. She's like, "Is that what we're looking for?
Is that what we're looking for?"
Yeah.
Yeah, honey, that's the big hairy man in the woods. That's him.
It's always the beginners, right? The beginners' luck, they're like,
and she's a skeptic. She's a skeptic.
Now, like I said, I'm also skeptic. I've researched this because I want them to exist. That would be cool.
Well, I want to say something while I'm on here, since I got one skeptic here for sure. To anyone watching this who is in this field like I am, don't get mad because people are skeptic. It's them who challenge us to back up what we're saying.
I want you to succeed.
So if you got a skeptic watching your show, thank them.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kelsey, for the comment. We appreciate that. And we like having, we like one of the things we like here at Southern Fried Podcast is for people to tell their story. And so we're talking about Bigfoot and Sasquatch and all these other creatures, but it's really Greg Smith's story. I mean, we're telling a story that, someone that we've met and kind of, things that they like to do. And I find that completely interesting. How you grew up, how you got into it, how you're out in the woods and, enjoying nature and kind of getting off the grid a little bit. I think that's cool. And whether you ever find it or not, you're living life and you're having fun. That's cool. I mean,
if it weren't for me doing this, I wouldn't have half the people I know in my life. Because most of them I met it's a yearly camp out we try to do called Squatch Out.
How cool.
Yeah. We literally had it this, but I could not make this up in a million years. This past year, we had it at this place called Sasquatch Farms.
Sasquatch Farms. Cool.
You can look it up. It's in South Pittsburgh.
Okay, so are they growing Sasquatches, or are the Sasquatches growing food?
Well, they just took the name and rolled with it, and I think they're just using the Sasquatch name just to draw in a crowd. But you know what? It's working. So props to them.
Absolutely. Now,
and even if you're not into all this stuff, it's a great place to go camping.
Okay. Oh, so it's okay.
Yeah.
It's another business there. Good. We'll highlight them. We like doing them.
They're called Sasquatch Farms out of South Pittsburgh, Tennessee. They have a little store. You get everything you need: your ice, your gas, for your whatever you need, all right there. It's a nice merch, even.
There you go.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just a great place to go get away from everything for a while.
Now, when you were at the Greenhouse Festival, and I didn't get to stay all day, I'm hoping next year to actually have a booth. We're wanting to set up live and do interviews and just we may sell some merch, but really just want to be a part of it. Me and Rob's actually going to be a part of the Nat Festival and down there in South Georgia. I can't wait to do that. But we're going to set up there. Hopefully, I believe the festival did good. I've heard good things about it. I've talked to people who were set up there, and they said they actually made some money. That's what
actually one of my friends I bet who doing this was there.
Okay.
2 of them actually. The guest speaker, I know her from Squatch Out, and then Wayne Tithrow, who does he did the Paranormal Odyssey or Sasquatch Odyssey. He does the Paranormal and Sasquatch Odyssey with the Brian Sharp or Brian King. Brian King Sharp, which I actually met him the very first Squatch I ever went to.
Okay. Now you said you were doing tours there. What I didn't get to stay for that. What was the tour about? Tell us about that.
The tour, they just had this old style trolley, and they drive them through the battlefield, and I just tell a little bit about the history of the battlefield, the history of the old green eye sightings and so forth, and some of the more paranormal parts of basically a little bit of history and a little bit of the paranormal stories in the area.
Okay, cool.
And because of my YouTube, I got all my playlists I break down for each creature. Like I got my old green eye section. I got the section for Bigfoot of Pigeon Mountain. Next year, I'm going to start one for Dogman, which we've had sightings of that right here up in Cleveland Canyon, I found out.
Okay.
Now, those things are dangerous. That one, I won't even hesitate. I'll just put every round I got in the magazine on him.
Now you've mentioned 2 things. Rob, go ahead. I want to stay with the battlefield and talk about a couple
keep going there while we're on that now.
Because one, I just want to say as a backstory, I actually did a tour through the battlefield, but for history, War Between the States history. So I've actually done that a little bit. It was a blast. I got to meet people from all over the world, and I actually got some compliments. I mean, I was just trying my best to do a good job of that. But since we're mentioning those 2 things, the Dogman and Green Eyes, and I don't know if me and you got to talk about it, but what is the most common story you hear about Green Eyes as what is Green Eyes? What have you heard?
Well, I've heard literally so many things that I've got the impression that it goes back to the Cherokee myth of it being possibly a skinwalker. Because the descriptions of this thing vary from person to person. I mean, they always have some small detail besides the eyes. Obviously, that's always there. But there's always some other small detail. It's got hair. It's bipedal. So there's people on the spectrum who say it's a ghost or a spirit. There's people on my side of the spectrum who think it's some type of creature that's yet to be identified by science.
Yeah.
That's literally the best I can explain that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the Dogman is, you said you heard there was a sighting in Cloudland, which is up on Lookout.
Yeah, and that's literally like 15 minutes from my front door.
Okay. And for those that don't know, Dogman is simply that. It's supposed to be a cross between dog and man.
It is a canid bipedal cryptid.
Okay.
And it is not very friendly. Now, a buddy of mine, he's my go-to guy to talk to about Dogman stuff. His name's Ken Roper.
Ken Roper.
Now, if you ever want to learn about Dogman, put him on your show.
Okay.
He's my go-to guy if I have a question about Dogman.
Rob, you'll have to write that down because we're going to do a trip through all of these. So Ken Roper, and we'll
Kenneth Roper. That's his name.
Kenneth Roper. Okay.
Gotcha.
That's right, Miss Young, Sam Young. There are a lot I see a picture of a man and a woman here, so I don't know which one I'm talking to, but you're right. There are a lot of stories of green eyes, so there's so many stories you never know. But the fact that the Cherokee have even had stories about a creature of like that type in their folklore in this area, and this was heavily known, the Chickamauga Cherokee. I mean, the word Chickamauga comes from their language. It means the river of death.
There you go. Well, you just got to volunteer to go with you to the battlefield next time.
Oh, all right. You can find me on Facebook. Find me on Facebook under my name, Greg Smith. They'll set a picture of me and my wife on the. If they can, I'll probably get them to put the link up to my Facebook on here if they're willing.
Yeah, we'd be willing. We've got your YouTube link up, but we'll We'll put your Facebook up as well. Absolutely.
All right, guys. I mean, I invite anyone who wants to talk to me about this stuff or wants to try to come with me. I do set some ground rules, like in the battlefield. Obviously, if you're going to carry, you have to have a carry permit. That is the rule. That is the law for the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you ain't going to carry if you don't have the permit to carry a gun, I at least ask you to carry a good belt knife. I don't take anyone in the woods without me unless they have a good belt knife with them. Because that can be life and death in the woods, even something a small patch of woods like that.
Okay. All right. Hooking people up here. Love it. So have you, how often, I mean, how many times have you looked for, I don't want to put words in your mouth. You said you've searched a battlefield. Is it just for green eyes or is it for other creatures or?
My goal is to get a definite answer as to what green eyes is. Whether it's a ghost.
I gotta find
if it is a ghost, I'm done because I have a rule in life. If it's getting hostile and I can't blast it, I don't want to mess with it. Because that, in my personal rule book, that's how you survive this weirdness.
Yeah. All right, Greg.
If it's ghost, let someone else do it. Let the ghost hunters deal with it. If it's a cryptid, let's play.
So you're not into the ghost tours?
No. I mean, I've done them just for, the laughs, just for my own fun. But I will never actually go out and investigate on my own a ghost because, again, you can't shoot a ghost. You can't slash, stab, blast. You can't do that to a ghost. A Bigfoot, a dogman, a cryptid. Huh?
I bet chemical warfare would still work.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of a joke I heard from, actually, I think my wife told me the joke about the ghost park thing with fog. Okay, you ever notice that you go on driving at night and it's supposed to be a haunted area and it's real foggy?
Yeah.
You ever wonder if that's ghost farts?
It might be.
It might be. My wife told me that joke, and I swear that one cracks me up every time. So every time it pops in my head, I say it out loud.
All right, so Greg, I'm looking for you on Facebook. Let's do it this way.
Greg Smith, and there'll be a picture of me and my wife in the.
All right, let's see.
This is the Bigfoot Hunter.
Yes, that's me. Not just Bigfoot. I go after any cryptid I get reports on in the area.
Now, we haven't mentioned the skinwalker, I think is what you call it. Have
that's my theory as to what green eyes could be at this point because of so many varied descriptions of this creature.
Okay.
Now, a skinwalker, according to Cherokee myth, let's face it, they're already evil. To become a skinwalker, you literally have to do something evil and to kill a family member. That's according to the Native American stories.
Say that again. Like, to become a skinwalker, you have
to become a skinwalker, you have to do something evil. Which in this case, killing a family member, like killing your own child, your own mother, your own father, something like that. So they're already evil, which to me means already a danger to people. And I'm sorry, if there's a cryptid that proves to be dangerous to people, I'm going to do my best to stop this thing.
Oh, okay. Out in the redwoods. Bigfoots. Big trees, Bigfoot.
Yeah. They have a lot of sightings over there, too.
Now, you mentioned several times about the Indians and it being a part of their folklore and sightings. And does all of these go back to that or even,
Well, let me give an example of a story I found. I'll even send it to y'all after we're done tonight. Of a sighting that happened in the 1800s, right here on Lookout Mountain near the High Point area.
Okay.
A geologist was out gathering samples because he's also teaching geology around here somewhere. And he was out gathering samples for his class. While out gathering these samples up on the ridge on Lookout Mountain, he came across a large, hairy, bipedal creature carrying a large, to us it would be a log, to him was a stick. He pointed the stick at him, brought the stick back and smelled it, and then started roaring and yelling at this geologist, and he was so afraid he ran all the way back down to the nearest building, which in this case was an old car garage, and called for help.
What city is your Facebook under there? Is it Chattanooga?
Chickamauga, Georgia.
That might help.
Proud small town life. We like our cornbread. We like our coffee. We like our tea. Anyway, better be sweet tea, dadgummit.
There you go. Yeah.
Greg Smith. Let's see. School of Hard Knocks. R. Ridgeland.
That's me, Ridgeland.
Ridgeland, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that's where I went.
Got you. I'm adding you
Greg,
now.
we got a question here.
Okay.
So I heard there's a lot of skinwalkers out in the desert, Nevada, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
And what is a skinwalker? So
a skinwalker is again, it comes from Native American folklore. Every Native American group has some story of some kind of creature like this. For the Cherokee, it was the bear man. For example, that's just the first one popped in my head. Now, these are creatures who can shapeshift from their true form to look like either a loved one or an animal. They get close to you, and then you become a meal. They are cannibalistic.
Okay.
I hope that answers Miss Colt. I hope that answers your question.
So, to have a sighting of a skinwalker, you can't get too close, or you're going to be lunch. Is what you're saying?
Pretty much. Now they can also mimic voices.
Now the Bigfoot can too, correct? Well, not necessarily voices, but sounds.
Yes, they can mimic sounds, but a skinwalker can literally make it sound like you're like in my case, for example, it can sound like my wife if you want to try to lure me into the woods.
Okay.
And if my wife's out yelling for help in the woods, I don't care what's out there. It's not stopping me from getting to my wife. I will fight the devil himself for that one.
Absolutely. Now, you should be.
What is Bigfoot? I'm just asking.
Now, hold on. Don't be scared to go shoot fireworks in the desert there, buddy, because if you're shooting off fireworks, that's more likely going to scare them away from you.
Yeah, probably. Now,
yeah.
Is
so you don't have fun, shoot off your fireworks. Just make sure you're doing it legally, bud.
Is the sightings of Bigfoot and Sasquatch, which one's more? I mean, because I've heard of both. More than I have dog.
Technically, they're the same thing. It's just a general terminology.
Okay.
Like the term Bigfoot didn't come around until modern day media. At one point in history, they were calling them mountain monkeys or devil monkeys, stuff like that.
Do we know where the term Bigfoot? Who started that? Do you know?
That's in one of the books I brought from the library. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I do know he was a guy. He was working with the loggers. They found some huge tracks by their equipment, and he had casted one, and that's how the term Bigfoot came about. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but that's how the term Bigfoot came about. And it just hit the media, and they rolled with it, and ever since then, we called him Bigfoot.
Okay.
Hey, Sam, I sent you that link on Messenger.
Thank you, Rob.
Now.
Everything's legal in Nevada. Kinda. I like how you said kinda.
We have to say Nevada. My sister.
Yes, Nevada.
I'm a hillbilly. I'll set the way I say it, Nevada. I'm a hillbilly, and I'm going to be a hillbilly to the day I die.
That's what we say, but my sister scolded us. Said, "Oh, by the way, it's called Nevada."
Well, we're here in the South. We call it Nevada.
We'll call it Nevada if we want to.
No doubt.
Okay, now, like I said, I've done my little bit of research on this stuff, and I have for a long time. Now, there are all kind of stories and hypotheses and theories on Bigfoot and where Bigfoot comes from. And one of the reasons why some people say that you can't ever find any evidence of Bigfoot, or why you can't find anything for their culture or whatever, is they are actually come from UFOs. But you've heard that rumor too, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Until I hear this thing, unless this thing sounds like Chewbacca, I ain't buying it.
I swear to God, I thought when I first saw Chewbacca, I'm like, it's real. That come from outer space.
Unless this thing has a crossbow that shoots lasers and some big metal bandolier thing with, I don't know what that thing was.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, I'm just telling you what some of the stuff I've read.
I know, but I have ADHD, so I tend to get hyper, and as you can see, I tend to get silly.
It's okay. It fits
I can't do it.
It fits right in with us.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess after they came out of the garbage compactor in the first movie, he smelled like a skunk ape.
Touche.
Just saying, wet too.
Now, I've always wondered, does it smell like a wet dog when a Wookiee gets wet?
I don't know. We're asking you.
Well, we're talking about Wookiees, a made-up creature from Star Wars. We're not talking about Bigfoot.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rob.
Have you ever found any hair or anything like that?
I have not. My buddy, the wrestler Walls, he had.
Yeah. He's a wrestler?
Yeah, in the ring, he goes by the name Alpha Wolf.
This is getting way too cool. Sam, are you hearing this? Now you definitely have to go.
We got
now Walls don't go out with me all the time. He has his own YouTube channel called Jasper Walls, Bigfoot and Things. And he's like you guys. He'll talk mostly about Bigfoot or anything, but he'll talk about anything. This conversation can go way out left field, way out left field. Somewhere, maybe we talk a little bit about Bigfoot in the way.
You got Sam. He's ready.
But now I will say that he had recently retired from wrestling due to problems here and in his knees.
Yeah. Well, me and Sam are both retired wrestlers too.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're catching on to the humor here that's going on. Sam is, so Sam was in there before he heard about the wrestlers. So I'm just.
But yeah, Jasper, again, he's just a big old hillbilly. I mean, big old hillbilly. But he's got the mental mentality of Deadpool.
Yeah. Okay. Now we there's something we have got to cover.
Okay.
We have got to talk about this. And
Right.
we spent an hour and a half on Bigfoot.
Uh-huh.
But it's very important to me that we get to the chupacabra.
All right. I'll go ahead and bring this up. Before I even started filming and doing anything on YouTube, I did do a chupacabra investigation for a friend of mine. It was actually his grandpa. He had a chicken farm. He had found 5 of his good chickens. His good land, the chickens that lay eggs real good, completely insanguinated.
Okay.
Now, what that means, they're completely drained of blood. Chupacabras feed on blood.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I go look around. Again, as before I started doing, before I had the idea to finally put this on video and on YouTube and everything. I wish I had done it sooner because now I'd love to have that investigation on video. I found a strange print near the chicken coop and going where the claw marks are at, 3-toed canid prints.
3-toed what prints?
Canid. No, a canine. Now, the way to tell a canine print from like a cat print, for example, cats, they tuck their claws in when they walk. Canines, they already got their claws out all times.
Right.
And so you always be able to tell that least distinction. But I've never in my life seen a 3-toed dog.
Huh.
Or a 3-toed coyote or a 3-toed wolf. But this thing had somehow drained all the blood from his 5 best laying hens. And they had 3 toes.
That does sound weird.
Yeah. I told him best thing I can do tell you to do, bud. Get you a ton of trail cameras on your chicken houses. And if anything pops up weird on there, call me. I hadn't heard from him since.
Interesting.
But that's as far as it went. I mean, I tracked them for about half a mile into the woods. and it got to a creek, and this is up in Villanelle, Georgia, out here in Villanelle. Now, you know where I'm talking about there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I lost the trail.
Not too far from there. I've actually been in the wood doing some hunting, but for
I lost. So you know that little creek that goes right down the center of Villanelle, in the wooded area there. That's where the chicken farm is, right like a half mile from it, and I lost it at the creek.
Okay. Awesome.
So,
but yeah, I believe in the blood-sucking dog.
Okay, so the chupacabra is obviously at least amphibious because it had to swim across the Rio Grande.
But the creek's not that deep.
Okay. Well, the Rio Grande is kind of deep. And had to come across.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yeah, humans come across all the time. They're still bone dry when they get from one end to the other. There's other ways to get across.
That's true. That's true, Dave. I could be wrong on this. I didn't think they let them things across the border. You know.
Like I said before, if we cannot keep the cartel out of America, how are we keeping an animal out of daggum America?
He might be dressing up and looking like one of them and infiltrating, you know.
Okay, we're not talking about Scooby-Doo. We're talking about Chupacabra here, okay?
He would have gotten away for it, too, if it had been for the crazy border guards.
I had to do the Scooby-Doo joke because my wife is the biggest Scooby-Doo fan I've ever met in my life, and I love it.
Scooby-Doo is cool. We're okay with Scooby-Doo. Like Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
Okay, Gru.
Oh, Reggie. I'm going Scooby
Okay, Reggie. But, you know, okay. The Bigfoot would be kind of cool. I can't.
Just got a comment. The is the German Shepherd for the cartel.
That's cool.
All right.
Oh, my wife's actually watching while we're talking on here.
Yeah. So. All right. What was the? Okay. Now I have heard rumors that the chupacabra has actually killed children in Mexico.
Yes. There's actually, if anyone here had Discovery Plus, there's a show on there. It's a what if scenario. What if one of these things actually got proof and saw evidence of it? If it had an encounter, someone had an encounter with it, right? It's for different cryptic creatures like the Oklahoma octopus. I'm still saying, what the world? How did it get that far from the ocean?
Well, it didn't crawl up from the beach in Oklahoma. I'll guarantee you that.
No kidding. Anyway, but they have one about the chupacabra.
Okay.
Which is one of my favorite episodes, by the way, because it involves people, Latinos, Mexicans trying to come across the border to America, but they don't quite make it. They call it the coyote, the guy who tries to help them sneak across.
Right.
Well, the coyote left this family, mom, dad, and I think 2 children, and the little girl was the youngest one. Well, they had some movement at this part of the border. Border Patrol goes out there. All they find is the little girl, and she is terrified. And they kept hearing these noises, and basically the chupacabra killed her family in this what if scenario. Now, again, this is what would happen if we had definitive hard evidence finally come out of whatever creature they're doing on the show that day. You know?
Yeah.
But that is a real good one, in my opinion, is that episode. Just like the Bigfoot one they did, where it was a park ranger who he tried to stop poachers from going after black bear. Poacher wasn't happy. Problem is, Bigfoot wasn't happy either with the poacher.
Yeah.
Poacher went after the ranger, the female ranger. Bigfoot went after the poacher and saved her.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I will plug other shows that I've actually watched on television because it helps explain what I'm trying to explain to y'all.
Right. Okay. Now, I've heard that a lot of times you hear tree knocks and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard tree knocks up. up on Pigeon Mountain out here in Lafayette, Georgia.
Okay.
I've done tree knocks one time, and it was a big mistake. I never ran that fast in my life. What happened was, it was on one of my live streams, because apparently at the Blue Hole area of Pigeon Mountain, Dave, you might know what I'm talking about, the Blue Hole out in Lafayette on Pigeon.
Yep.
Right there at the Blue Hole, there's a trail going up the mountain. And I was up there one night, and I decided to do a tree knock. Next thing I got a live stream. I got a buddy of mine watching live stream. Kelsey started not feeling good, so she went back down to the truck, stayed in the truck. So she told me to go on because she knows I'm trying to do my show. I didn't think much of it. I thought, okay, what could happen? Mistake number one. So I go on up and I do the tree knock, and I hear this thing roar at me. I can feel the breath of it on my face.
Oh, wow.
And it scared me to my core because I couldn't see nothing. I had thermal imaging. I had night vision. I couldn't find this thing. I even had a flashlight out just going, what the heck is this? And I had my rifle with me that night.
Huh.
And I couldn't get eyes on this thing.
Wow.
So naturally, I was scared. Then I get a message from my buddy who's watching my live and helping keep an eye on her. Because I'm going to say this now. I love my wife to death. If anything in these woods ever took out my wife, I'd burn the woods to the ground to get that one creature.
Right.
She's got something watching her, and she's in the truck, and we're parked right where an angle where the water source, the Blue Hole, where the kids go to. Dave, you know what I'm talking about. Where the kids go to wade in the water and play.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This thing is standing right between her and the Blue Hole, watching her. So I pull feet down there. I mean, knees to chest, fully tactical geared out with a big old AR-10 on my back. And I get back down there, and she says it saw me coming because of the light on my AR.
Right.
Because I'm getting that close and it's watching her. I'm already going to come down my rifle range and start blasting. That's my wife. I'm at that point. I'm in full protect mode.
Right.
And it saw the light off my AR and it all ran off. I get back down there. She has her little 9mm aiming, like she's about to shoot out my windshield on my truck.
Hey,
and she's shaking.
Get out of the truck to shoot.
Huh?
Supposed to get out of the truck to shoot.
I told her she's in the truck by herself in the woods, don't get out.
Yeah.
Someone who's not got a lot of experience in the woods, that's one way to get killed in the woods.
Now, do you think the knocks is what brought them out, or were they already out?
I think they're already out. I think the noise they had going up the mountain was them luring me away from her.
Okay.
Now, real quick, for people that may not know, I mean, it may be simplistic, but describe tree knocks. What are you talking about when you do?
Oh, a tree knock. Basically, it sounds like you ever watch a baseball game? First of all, I'm a Braves fan. Go Atlanta Braves. But you ever heard that sound when a wooden bat hits that ball, pop, and it sounds like another piece of wood hitting it real loud? That's kind of how a tree knock sounds.
Okay.
It can be done with, I think they said, from what I've heard, it can be done with either real hard wood against the tree or actual rocks against the tree.
Yeah. Me, it's in the other room. Give me a second. I'll show you what I use.
Well, and the reason for this is what, Rob? I mean, is it?
I think it's a way of communication for over distance, is what they say.
Okay. I've heard that term. I've never done it, and I just wanted to be clear what we're talking about.
My wife found this for me. It's a little miniature hardwood bat. It's actually on their website, though. She found it. They're destroying a cinder block with it.
Okay. So it's a hardwood.
Yeah. I use that for my tree knocks.
Okay.
Heck, if I wasn't so worried about the signal, losing signal going outside, I'd go outside and do one for y'all right now.
Okay.
So you hit like one or two times and then.
Well, I hit it. I do one at first, wait for a response. If I don't get a response, then I'll go bump, bump, and hit the tree 2 times. The maximum I'll do is 3, but that's why I was going to get this to show what I use for my tree knocks. What they do that for, a lot of people theorize to do that for communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now,
to communicate with each other for distances, because that knock echoes real good through those hollers.
So you're listening for sounds
No.
made back towards that,
Yeah, I'm listening for tree knocks back.
almost like in that way, like a turkey call, almost like you're mimicking a
Or
turkey.
I can take that when you're okay. I'm sure we all three of us here have hunted deer.
Well, I know two of us have apparently.
Yeah, I have not.
Okay.
Okay, two. You'll get this one.
Yeah, you rattle antlers.
Yeah, same
Okay.
principle.
Yeah,
Same principle.
Deer call.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of what, from my understanding, with a lot of the cryptids, especially with Bigfoot and such, is a lot of what goes on with them. You can find imitated in nature. Either they're imitating nature, or nature's imitating them, or it's just something that is ingrained that it works.
Yeah.
The calls, stay close to water sources, food sources.
Yep.
Now, the thing that sets them apart from some of the other cryptids is the teepee of the trees, the arches, and stuff like that.
The tree structure.
Yes. That's something that animals don't do. No, I won't say they don't do. I mean, squirrels build nests, birds build nests, other animals build dens, but actually,
beavers build dams.
Yeah, but
Now I want to tie something together here real quick because Greg, I heard you say. Well, a matter of fact, I remember. I think it was in the video you did where you were going down the road, and you said the reason they haven't found these things is because they're high level IQ, very high level IQ versus humans. Now, in that scenario, you just said that you thought they were already out. You did the tree knock, and in that same vein, if I heard it right and that played out the way it was, wouldn't it be high intelligence that it went and pulled you? It went towards your wife. I mean, it actually did a flanking on you.
Lured me up the mountain for something because she was going through her menstrual cycle.
Yeah,
and that's a big no-no in the woods. I didn't think much of it. I thought she was going to stay with me the whole time.
Right.
Now, me in the woods, especially when it comes to protecting my wife, I'm like those guys off the Predator movie. I'm fully tacked out commando style. I got my knives, I got my guns, and I usually have a ton of ammo for each.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a vest. When I'm allowed to carry a handgun and a rifle, all my ammo and my guns are right here on my chest, my midsection. That way, my belt lines open up for knives.
Okay.
But it moved away from you, correct?
No, they had one up there pulling me up that way.
Oh, there was
there
more than one. Okay, I missed that.
Yeah.
And another one came
the one
in.
Up here about the time it roared at me is when she had one down there watching her.
Okay, I missed that part. Okay. Well, maybe they're working in tandem.
Well, they do believe they travel in clans.
Okay.
Say that again.
There's a lot of people who theorize, especially lately, that Bigfoot are in family units like clans.
Okay.
Kind of like how gorillas do.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that say that too. A lot of the cryptid hunters. And they tend to generally congregate in the same area or over the same square mile area.
Now, in my personal experience here in my area, at Pigeon Mountain, the ones at the base of the mountain are the more aggressive ones. The higher up you get, the more docile they seem to get, which is kind of unusual if we're talking about a primate.
Yeah.
Because if you look at, let's look at African gorillas, for example. The lowland gorillas are usually more docile. The silverback, who live higher up, they're more aggressive.
Right. So what do you think?
What do you base that on, real quick, Rob? What do you base that on that they're more in one area or another? What do you how do you base that? How do you quantify that they're more aggressive?
Because of the behaviors I've got from ones on the base of the mountain, like the lower point of the mountain, and to go up toward the higher parts of it. Well, they'll just sit and watch you. They won't act aggressive. They won't roar at you. We got a thermal hit up on Sawmill Lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just sit and watch and wave back and forth like this.
They're hippies. There's some hippies up there at that lake smoking weed, And they're up there looking at you. I'm sorry. But
No, first time I thought about it, I pictured my dad out camping.
I'm picturing the Bigfoot now going, here you go, Raggy.
While we're making a Scooby-Doo reference, have you ever noticed it's only Shaggy and Scooby that seem to always have the munchies?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they don't show what they're doing during the commercial. That's why Scooby talks funny. Okay, Raggy.
Honey, it's just us having a good laugh. Calm down. We're not making fun of. We're just pointing out obvious fact that every Scooby fan has already known.
Yeah. That's how they're able to run in one door and come out a different door on the other side of the hall.
Now, does anybody, outside of your wife and you said I think you have a cousin, does your family support you in this, or do they,
my uncle, he used to give me my grandma raised me. Unfortunately, she's passed. She passed before I even went to the military. My dad, well, he's a hippie. he's a country boy, but he's a hippie.
He was up on Horseshoe Lake.
He didn't even know it was there until I took him up there earlier last year to go fishing. He never knew it was there.
Oh.
Anyway, and then my uncle, he's a hard-nosed man, real hard up, hard. I'm trying to think of a way to say it politely without being, I'm trying to keep it PG.
He's got a stick up his butt.
Yes, there we go. Thank you.
Okay.
But he gives me a hard time about it sometimes, but then I say, it's my hobby. I've made friends. I'm out. I'm active. It ain't affecting you in no way. Why are you getting uptight about it?
Yeah, do what you want to do.
I mean, you've got.
I don't know. I just think you're wasting your time. But it's my time, Unc. It's not yours.
Well,
and he's not giving me a hard time to understand. I mean,
he'll make 300 followers on your YouTube channel. I mean, that's you've got over 300 followers, right, on YouTube?
How many followers do I currently have? Oh, you can't look right now. I think last we looked before the show it was 371.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
So there's a lot of people interested.
What does he do for fun? What does he waste his time doing for fun?
Watching the news and getting more angry and yelling and cussing at the TV.
Okay. Well, that's not doing him any good either. No, I mean, that TV's not going to answer him.
I have to give him some leeway because he is a brother veteran.
Yeah.
So everyone's going to have their own vices.
Yeah. Well, sounds like me. He's old, grouchy, and cantankerous.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I couldn't think for. Cantankerous.
My dad was the same way. Go back and watch our video we did on veteran suicide.
Oh, I want to say this now. Well, I got a good number of people watching. Whether you're a vet or not, if you're feeling the need to harm yourself and you just need someone to talk to, reach out to me. I'll talk to you.
Yep. Absolutely. And we've been talking about that. We did a campaign here a while back on 22 days, 22 a day, and it's actually higher than that. And George Eshelman, The Keeper, is coming out in a week.
That's right.
I want to tell a little bit of my own story on that because that about was one of those statistics.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is not my first marriage. My first marriage, I was in the military. She decided to fight another men's bed besides ours, if you catch my meaning.
Yeah.
And I came home and found this out. I was devastated. I thought that was the one. It wasn't. This is the one I got right here now. I was wrong. I was thinking with my smaller.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry. I wasn't thinking. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But I was gonna go to the woods, and here's where it gets creepy.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, he knew what I was up to. He knew what I was about to do. He's a Navy veteran, so again, he's a brother to us.
Right.
The guy how he found me, a guy I know for a fact to be dead because it was in my arms. He died in the Middle East. Pretty surfer boy, look, bleach blonde hair, military cut.
Mm-hmm.
Led him to me. Funny thing about that same guy, I have his rosary bead right here on my wall. The one who led them to me.
Have you seen the movie The Keeper yet?
No.
Watch it.
I have that story I just told you.
Watch it all the way through.
Well, in my personal opinion,
I guarantee you, after what you just described, if you watch this movie all the way through, it'll make your skin crawl.
Well, personally, I think it was God sending my battle buddy back to make sure I didn't do something stupid.
It may very well be.
If it's right in line with The Keeper, I mean, that's, you know.
George Eastman was on here, and we talked with him, and he's the man that the movie The Keeper is about.
And by the way, Rob, we need to rerun that show since we're within a week of that coming out, November 8th on Amazon Prime. Definitely, we're going to re-air that. We might do it a couple of times. Pull that back out, and we do the promo here with him all the time. We've been waiting.
So
that's almost 2 months ago.
Any veteran out there who was thinking about hurting themselves, come talk to me. I've been in that hole.
Yeah.
Let me help you get yourself out of that hole, soldiers.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And there's veteran hotlines, and you can contact. And this is something that most people don't know, or veterans. If you're not happy at your VA center and you feel like you need to talk to somebody, you can contact any VA center.
Yeah.
Any of them. You do not have to just go to one. If you're not happy with what you're getting there, contact any of them.
Yeah.
Reach out. And you know, there is hope. There is help. But you know, we got to listen with our ears and our hearts. And the people that are suffering with them, you got to use your mouth. You got to let people know. You got to talk to people. And there's plenty of people that are willing to. So don't hold it in.
No. Don't hold it in, because that's what drives you to that point. And I'm speaking from personal experience. Yeah. That drives you to the point where a bullet looks mighty tasty, or a rope looks like a nice necktie.
Yeah, it's not a.
I know I was saying that in a very morbid way, and I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
No,
but that's literally so we get to that point sometimes when we come home and you can't make sense of what's going on anymore.
Yeah. But, you know, and getting a hobby, go out there and look for Bigfoot. It doesn't matter if you find him or not. Go look for him. It's a hobby. Yeah. It's something to do. It keeps you active. It's a place to spend all that pent-up energy, and who knows, you might be the one to find him.
And who knows, you might make a few friends along the way. I made two right here tonight.
Yes.
I have two last questions for you, Greg, and we really, again, appreciate you being on here, and we do hope you'll come back and be with us. It's been great and a lot of fun. Last two questions I have. One is, have you ever thought about writing a book related to your journey about cryptids or anything like that? Have you ever thought of being an author in any way and writing a book about your experience?
Well, if I did that one, they'd probably have to get a translator, because I only know bad English. I didn't do that good in English class. I know hillbilly English and military mouth. That's about it. Military mouth, that means foul mouth, by the way, folks.
Yeah. That's okay. There's people that can help you, though. But, you know, at least make journals or something, you know. And,
well, I do keep journals of my stuff. Like, I got a journal for each investigation. I got one for Green Eyes, and I hadn't really started one for Pigeon Mountain yet. I need to. But, I mean, everyone thinks you have to go get these big fancy journals. No. Go to the daggone Alpha Depot, go get the college line composition notebook and start writing this stuff down, folks, if you have something you're passionate about writing about.
Yeah. My last question would be, let's say you find Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm.
You find Bigfoot, you're the one that does it. After all the hoopla is over, which would really probably carry the rest of your life, but would you still hunt for Bigfoot if you found a Bigfoot? Would you still go out after that?
At that point, if I proved it existed, at this point, the process be getting them put on a protected list so they cannot be harmed. Because as rare as the sightings are, they're probably endangered because of habitat being destroyed.
Okay. Now I'm going to throw this out there, and this is my last thing on this. I know down in Florida they have a whole lot of habitat being destroyed. You take animals like alligators and bobcats, stuff like that. As their habitat is destroyed, it forces them into closer contact with people.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more sightings and there's a lot more interaction. With as much habitat has been destroyed, where they at?
Where they at? Is that
Yeah.
what you just said?
Yeah.
Well, think about it. If you was to see a Bigfoot, how many people think you was just talking out your rear end?
Well, that's true. How many people are keeping it to themselves?
Because of fear of persecution, fear of, being called the town loon.
Yeah.
That's true.
And again, to anyone out there who's watching this, who's had a sighting in this area of Walker County, Georgia, or Northwest Georgia, part of this coast of our side of Alabama or Chattanooga area, come to me. I'm not going to criticize. I'm not going to make fun. I'm here to listen to your story and maybe help find out what you saw.
There you go.
That's awesome. Awesome.
That's why I asked 6 questions.
Well, thanks for coming and telling your story, Greg. I mean, I'm
happy to do it. I mean, especially considering I'm sitting with a couple of good old boys having a good time.
That's
Heck,
right.
I'd come on again just for the heck of it. I don't care what we're talking about at that point.
Well, our show, Front Porch, we always, it's about sitting on the front porch talking. So you're always welcome back on Front Porch anytime we want to drop in.
Love you.
Well, if I ever drop in a topic catches my interest, I'll be sure, hey, let me in there.
There you go. That's what we want. We'll do it. And sometimes one of us is sick or something, we might need a co-host. So, you're
well, anytime I can help y'all out. So, I mean, y'all help my show, I help you. And y'all help my show, I help your show. That's how this works, and that's how we all grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we've been promoting you, and we'll make sure that people see the link or have the link when we post this up. We're on about 15 different streams, and we'll make sure all of them have that.
Well, I'm only on, my main thing is YouTube. I do have a TikTok. I use that to make my commercials.
Okay.
Yes.
And I have Instagram. I use that. I use Facebook and Instagram and TikTok to advertise my YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was already using Facebook. It was my wife's idea to use TikTok and Instagram, so I gotta give her credit for that one. She's one smart cookie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm going ahead and say this now. Stay out of my wife, everybody. That's Kelsey right over there. She's been my biggest supporter since I started doing this Backwoods Cryptids. And it has put, I'm not going to lie, sometimes we knock heads over, me doing so much time because I'm out in the woods, I'm videoing, I got to come home, I edit the videos together, I post them, I promote them, and that takes a lot of time. Y'all know how it is.
Oh,
yeah.
And sometimes we lock horns calls up, but at the end of the night, we always have a rule. Never go to bed angry.
That's a good one. That's biblical. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. You got to have peace.
In other words, man, happy wife, happy life.
What?
Folks, thanks for watching Front Porch Talking, and look for our programs through the weekend. Veteran of the Week, Sunday morning in the Word, Sunday night, last night of the last news desk that we'll have before the election. A lot of me and Robert were looking over Georgia numbers just today, and it's amazing.
Oh,
Rob,
I didn't hear about the update. What are the Georgia numbers right now looking like?
It's around 4 million. I mean, as far as how many has voted, it's still
so we've had that many people in Georgia already go do the early voting.
Already voted, yeah.
And it wound up today.
Really high.
Wow.
So all the voting is over until Tuesday. And so, folks, if you haven't voted, go vote on Tuesday. Let your voice be heard.
Absolutely.
And we'll be on live. Robert will start off. We'll be on live election night, looking at results. As soon as I get done at working the poll, getting everything took to headquarters, I'll be coming home. I'll probably, Rob, actually join in headed home. And then
I might join in on my way home from work. So I get off at 7:00. So
join in, brother.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk election
results. I'm not trying to go ahead and say who I'm voting for. Trump. Trump.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, but I will tell you who I'm not voting for. Kamala.
I'll just say that I'm. You can just call me a big old pile of garbage. Garbage bag Dave.
Yeah,
We're garbage.
Someone referenced it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're garbage. Completely.
Just the good old glad bag.
We're just-
I'm a big boy, so I got to have the big super
Is it a glad bag or a hefty bag? I don't know.
We're a great big bag of deplorable garbage.
That's it.
I'm proud of it.
All right, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in with us tonight. We enjoyed it, and I hope you did too. And hey, y'all go enjoy your weekend. Get off your computer. Go.
Hey,
go
get out. Get some fresh air.
That's right.
It's good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll make you pretty, like me.
Hey, I'm sorry, but
Stay with us just for a minute, Greg. We're going to get this thing shut down. We'll have some closing thoughts real quick if you got a second or two. And
I got plenty of time.
All right, man. Hang with us just for a second, and we'll make sure we got those names down right and everything. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being a part of Southern Fried Podcast and Cornbread Nation, to be a breadhead.
Yes. We'll see you next time. Good night, y'all.
Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see.